Welcome. This is What's Your Story? I'm Charley Timmins. Every week I bring you guests who are authentic and genuine, who are going to share their insights and practical information that you can put to work today in your business and really create a change. Today we're going to deal with one of the big issues that businesses are having today. We remember a gentleman named Steve Jobs, and we praise him for putting a lot of power in our hands to help our business. But when that happened, it created some other problems for business that they didn't realize were going to happen. My guest today deals with that particular problem. Cate Heaman is CEO of Prelude Solutions. They deal with telecommunications and how to manage the costs associated with that. Cate,
yes, hi.
Welcome.
Hi, welcome.
What's your story? So let's get right to it. What does your company do?
Okay, well, we go into organizations and we take a look at their voice, their data, their cable, and their cellular, and we audit those services according to their contracts, their invoices, their service agreements, and their customer service records, and we find savings. And we average 33% savings. That's step one of what we do.
So that solves one problem.
That solves one problem, and we are averaging that 33% savings
So
today.
what's that number again?
33% savings.
So who would not want to talk to you?
That's
Continue.
Right.
Continue.
Right. So the CFO is happy, right? But while we're doing that, we're looking at the roadmap for what they really want to do for tomorrow. Okay. So now we're taking a look at how are these services today and what could they be tomorrow? And maybe there's additional savings to be had, right? Or maybe there's a growth in technology and additional applications or client abilities to do things better, right? So that's really what the tomorrow is about. And then we satisfy the CIO because we're actually becoming that trusted advisor for the organizations for what's for tomorrow, right? So now we're giving time back to the CIO and we're vetting out the processes for who and what to do next.
Talk a little bit about this time savings for the CIO. What's the alternative they have to you, which is the current state of affairs? So what's that costing them? What's the time sucked there?
And this is exactly what I love to talk about, because what it is a CIO or an IT director, right? Let's just say they want to make a migration from a premise phone-based system to the hosted telephony system, right? So what do they have to do? First, they have to do the research as to, first actually they have to do the DNA and the scorecard of what they want, right? So they have to figure out the features and functionalities, what they have, right? So they have to build, okay, this is what we would like. Then they have to do their research to figure out which companies fit that scorecard. Okay. Then they have to contact each one of those companies. So then they have to deal with a salesperson, an engineer. Then they have to go in and schedule all of those demos. Then they have to then negotiate all of the contracts for each one of those and the features and functionalities and installations. So we're putting 60% of that time back into a project by coming to one trusted advisor, which is Prelude, right? So we then have a back office of 35 people specializing in any specific area of a project that they're interested in, and we take all of that off of them. We do the scorecard, we do the features and functionalities, we do the scorecard, we take their DNA, then we go to our back end office, and now we're vetting out that process. We pick 5, we get down to 3, we bring those 3 to the solution, to the table, and now think about this. It's not the CIO or the IT director that has made that decision to get to those 3, right? They're saying, we've brought Prelude in, sit down, Mr. CFO, sit down, COO, sit down, CEO, let's listen to what they have to say. And now they can just, that burden of that is taken off of them.
And you could probably help them ask the right type of questions.
And then we're just doing, it's from there, it's just really getting down to the best 3, demoing the best 3, taking it, making sure that they're getting the best opportunity for installation, pricing, and a good team to work with moving forward. And then we're doing all of that project management.
So this business model that you have now
Yes.
has never, I shouldn't say, it's a relatively new model compared to the way this industry ran for a long time.
It is in that we are a full service, in that we start everything off with an audit, right? So we're different because we start off with an audit and we want to understand what's their tolerance for change. Do they want to keep that 33% savings in some areas? Do they want to change some of it, right? Sometimes, you have that opportunity to make those decisions. And then we're bringing it full circle. We're going to bring them the full services of opportunities to move forward. So savings and auditing, plus the big picture, the holistic picture of what's tomorrow's technology, all the way through to day 2 installation. And guess what we get to do? Audit the bills to make sure they're correct according to the contract. So we're, so then they can see the whole circle.
So what did you do prior to this company to gain such a great insight into this particular need that these executives have?
So I owned a company called CSG, which is still in existence. And what I did specifically is, while I did the consulting piece, it was a smaller portion of that business. What we really did is we were a platinum partner for Avaya and ShoreTel. And so, where the market for me right now is this, it was this. So it was only Avaya and ShoreTel, right? And, it was hardware and software. So we managed, serviced, maintained, implemented, upgraded very large systems for organizations. And I really saw the writing on the wall. Everything was going hosted. Everything was going into the cloud. And it was for 2 reasons. One is that I wanted to take a more consultative approach. I didn't want to fit these 2 products into this small pool, right? Making it fit, right, for them. I then saw that, I got a bigger gene pool here of opportunity, and I could really, truly bring the right solution to the customer. And then, of course, there's another part, is that there's a life quality part there, in that premise-based systems have a lot of other systems that have to work with that, right? So there's your guts of your own system, and then there may be in a call center, there might be an IVR, which is a way to call into a system, or you have call recording because you want to record the calls, right? None of those systems really talk to each other. So in a hosted solution, it's one upgrade, one software upgrade, and the quality of life for that whole entire IT department is now, they've gained, their nights, their weekends, their holidays back. So there's a lot of reasons, but those are my 2 main.
What I'm taking away is you're very focused on what is the need of the customer,
right,
to support their business.
Yep.
And you're not limited to just 2 vendors. You're really vendor agnostic in a way.
That's absolutely right.
Depending on the need of that client,
Yep.
you have a wide selection to recommend.
Yep.
But they ultimately are the ones that make the decision as to the
They do.
system they want to work with.
They do. They do.
So why do you do this? Personally, you are passionate about this.
I am.
So
Well,
what drives you?
Well, I love watching technology grow in an organization. So I love watching a prem-based system move to a hosted telephony solution and giving them features and functionalities and data back into their environment. So they now have...
Talk about that a little more.
So when you have realistic data about what they could be doing in a day-to-day basis, so a system can give them how many calls were made, if they migrated this call onto the road, how long they were on a call for. Now, you can get that from a prem-based solution, but there's more enriched features and functionalities from the reporting now from these systems that are software-based. And now people can make real decisions based on data and not on emotion, right? And I enjoy being able to say, here's a report. Numbers are the numbers.
Give us an example. My audience is always interested in knowing specific examples of someone that you helped that migration and things turned out well for them. I don't care what size of the company was.
Okay, so there was a call center for a dental call center. They did benefits for dental, and they had a premise-based solution. And they had a couple different systems working in one call center. And what we did is we implemented a hosted solution throughout Connecticut and Philadelphia. And what happened was they were able to act, so what they were doing is they were coming back and getting their calls from one main center. Now this was, the call center was split from the cloud, so it was coming down to both of them. They were getting all the same features and functionality. If one center went down, there was no blip in the system, if you will, right? They were able to be one cohesive group because now the system's here, right? It's up in the cloud. They're getting all their features, their functionalities up from here. They're not getting it from here or there, so that if one of these centers go down, they don't have the same features and functionality. They have additional reporting. All of their upgrades are done and pushed out through the cloud, so there's no more nights and weekends for these people. Yeah. We were also able to give them more enriched features and functionality with the reporting because the reporting was better, and now they have a better call center all around from a
So in 2 or 3 words.
Yeah. You're going to make me do it in 2 or 3 words?
No, in 2 or 3 words, what was their response to this fantastic change in the way they did business?
Oh, they were delighted. Delighted, absolutely. So, no, they were empowered.
We're going to have to take a break in a minute.
I like empowered.
Empowered?
Empowered.
Cool. Okay,
Yeah.
so we're going to take a break.
Yeah.
We have to hear from our sponsors.
Okay.
But we'll be back. Kate's going to go in a little bit deeper and share a little bit more about this fantastic solution for businesses. We'll be right back.
I want a warm belly to sleep on.
A big house.
How do I look? Do I look good?
I want to play hard.
My nails done once a month.
I want.
I want a home. I just want a home. I want someone to love.
Last year, more than 30,000 companion animals came to us without homes. 20,000 of them were felines. Let's make some homes together.
Add us on social media to watch bloopers, behind-the-scenes footage, previews, and more.
Choosing Medicare coverage can be a very confusing and complicated process. Help is just a phone call away, 856-226-4800. As a licensed insurance agent, I'll assist you in making an informed and confident decision on a Medicare plan that meets your needs, lifestyle, and budget. Call me today for a free, no-obligation Medicare benefits consultation, 856-226-4800.
Boardwalks built for fun. Legendary rock and roll clubs.
This is how we do it.
Casinos by the ocean. Now that's New Jersey. 130 miles of beautiful beaches. Solid rock. And everything in between.
Look in the window.
Now that's New Jersey.
Burlington County College.
Is now Rowan College of Burlington County.
Still the same great faculty.
At a community college ranked top 50 in the nation.
Basically, we earn more and pay less.
RCBC students are accepted at Rowan University after graduation.
And get a bachelor's degree for around $30,000.
Online and Mount Laurel students get a 15% Rowan University tuition discount.
And have many scholarship opportunities.
Welcome back to What's Your Story? Today my guest is Cate Heaman. She is the CEO of Prelude Solutions, dealing with this big, huge thing called telecommunications. And before we went to break, she talked about a particular client that she helped, but primarily it was with telephony. Why don't you share with us what is an ideal client for you? What are you looking for that you can really help?
You know, we just had this come to fruition, and I'll tell you exactly what the perfect client is.
Oh, great.
Yeah. I'll give you a story, if you will, okay?
This is What's Your Story?
Yeah.
Have at it. Have at it.
I love when I do that. So there is about approximately 300 employees total. There are 4 locations. They have, they also have cellular devices. Okay, they're a nonprofit, which I loved, because I love helping nonprofits just in general. And they had $275,000 of savings from erroneous charges from circuitry and cellular. There was no change in service. There was no migrations, nothing. We haven't even gotten to their telephony system, which I will be doing next. They have an old Mitel system in there that will be migrated out. $275,000, and there it is. You know, roughly 300 people, 4 locations. I would love to do that all day long. That's a perfect migration. And then they're using us for managed services. So there's one thing you come in and you save them this amount of money. Well, we stay embedded in our accounts, so they're using us for adds, moves, and changes for their cellular devices to make sure that they're staying correctly on their plans. But as well, you know, we keep their savings throughout every month. You know, we keep on looking at their invoices to make sure that they can keep that, and that's just a managed fee. So whatever we find them in additional, and you won't find them much because we're managing it, but if in fact a carrier ends up putting a charge on there, we'll be able to see it.
And what do they pay you to do all this? How are you compensated?
Right, it's all contingency based.
What?
It's all, we don't get paid unless we find money.
Tell me more about that. I love the sound of that.
Yep. So it's a typical contingency is, you know, a 50-50 over 12 months. We find the savings and we share in the savings over that percentage and that time. In nonprofits, we do a little bit differently, but because we like to give back a little bit more, but that's how it works.
So that $275,000, is that typical?
Well, it's about 30. It was a little bit higher than 33%, but I'm saying on average we're at 33%, right? So
wow.
So that's that was a perfect and ideal customer, right? 4 locations, cellular devices, you know, and then the good news is we get to migrate them to the cloud. So they have prem-based solution right now. So soon, our next step will be to migrate them to the cloud. And they'll keep that savings because that'll be a partnership that we'll have for services.
You make heroes of some of these decision makers.
That's exactly what we are. That's what we do. That's one of our taglines on our website. Let us make you a hero.
I notice you're wearing a button about women-owned businesses. Did you care to say a few things about the advantages that has both for you and for your clients?
Absolutely. So I'm very passionate about being women-owned. We earned the certificate in October of this past year, so we're only on, 6-7 months of that. It has totally, I think, you know, we could talk about telecom and we can talk about services, and you can see I'm passionate about that. But now I can be women-owned, right? And it really helps out with diversity and inclusion programs in the Fortune 1,500 organizations, right? So it launches us into a whole new opportunity pool, gene pool, if you will. We do have a few very large customers today, but what this is going to do is going to bring us that opportunity to get into a lot more larger customers. Also, by giving them the tax breaks that they get from working with a women-owned business. So there are federal, state, and local tax breaks that they, as a company, earn from doing business with me.
What do you see on the horizon for businesses that is in this domain that you help them manage?
Yep.
That's coming that they need to be aware of, that's going to really either help to transform their business or slow their business down if they don't get on board?
It's everything is migrating to the cloud, right? So everything's an application now. You know, there aren't going to be desk phones, right? No one wants a desk phone moving forward. There's going to be an application on their device, which it is now. Everyone has one, right? If you're in a hosted telephony solution, so it's going to be application driven. It's going to move faster and faster and faster. And if your technology is keeping you behind, you know, you're not going to stay up with the.
So when you say behind, you mean competitive with other companies in the field?
No, I meant as a company, if you're, exactly, yeah, that's right. I'm sorry, Charlie, yeah, that's exactly right. They're not going to be it's going to slow them down from their competition.
A friend of mine is starting a new position in the medical device business, and he told me all of the stuff that his new employer is giving him that will support him in doing his job. It's overwhelming,
right?
The support that they have, because everything's in the cloud.
That's right.
And everything's app driven. He's just amazed at it, because he's been around that world for a long time and seeing the changes.
Yep. I just was in an opportunity that I'm working through right now, and when we talked about, you know, how many people really need to how many remote workers do you need, and he said 100%, and I said, that's right. 100% of them need to be able to work remotely. There's no more days of, okay, we need, 100 licenses just for remote workers. 100% of the employees need to be remote. No, you got snow, you got traffic, you've got whatever it is, you can now be on. It's an amazing world that we're living in as far as technology goes, and I love it.
We've mentioned the word change a couple times during our conversation today.
Yep.
People have to realize that their businesses need to evolve, and they need to have the proper tools to evolve with it. But so many people are reluctant to change. I'm sure you bumped into those people. What's the magic that you share with them to get them to realize we have to make this move?
We educate them.
What's that word?
We educate them, right? So, it's all about the approach, right? So if you have someone that does not want to migrate or change, you give them the data. Here's your percentage of savings. Here are the possibilities, and here's what you could do. So you just give them the data, right? And what that could do for them, and what that could do for their company. And if they're anyone that is, wants to help their company, which most, employers and at C-levels, of course, but any employers would want to do that. And they become that hero. If they hear, if the IT director hears, I could be doing this, this, and that, they're going to go to the C-level people. They're going to be that hero and say, we can do this, we can get savings, and we can migrate our technology. And I could bring everybody applications on their cellular devices. They can have soft phones. We can have, call banners for their call centers right on your iPad right now, where you can go anywhere and you can see what anyone's doing in a call center as a supervisor, you log in at any point. How do you get when you do your banking, you're going like this and you're loading it up into the cloud and you're sending your checks through the mail, right? Or through the cloud. You're not going to the bank.
IT,
right?
In a lot of organizations, it's viewed as just a service to support the businesses. But what I'm hearing you say is they become part of the business now and give decision makers what they need to make informed decisions to move the business forward. It can elevate their status within the organization.
Yep.
Be able to do that.
Right.
So how would you describe the company in 3 words?
I would describe the company as savings, auditing, trusted advisor.
Okay.
I really like that trusted advisor. I think that that's really, what we're giving back to. That's the CIOs. And the, I would want to say the project management, that being able to install and bring it full circle.
That's a great summarization. This is the time in the show where you get to look into the camera
Yep.
and speak to the audience yourself and make an offer to them, share new wisdom with them, whatever it might be.
Okay.
Cate, time's yours.
Well, I would invite anybody who wants to become a hero within their organizations to certainly contact us. We're at info@preludesolutions.com. We'll come in and we'll take a look at what you have today from a services perspective. There's no harm, no foul in having us coming in and doing an audit.
And no cost.
No cost. It's a percentage of savings.
So why wouldn't I, as a CIO,
Right.
want to get a second opinion
Right.
on what's going on in my organization?
You would definitely want to reach out to us and have a second opinion. And we're going to audit and we're going to build that roadmap for tomorrow. It's both go hand in hand and they're both equally important.
Speaking for my audience, I want to thank you for that offer. Could you repeat the address that you'd like them to dial up?
Yeah, sure. It's info@preludesolutions.com.
So again, I want to thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Not that you made me a hero, but I do feel like a hero because now I know something I didn't know this morning. Thank you very much, Cate, for coming on the show.
Thank you.
And again, thank you for tuning in. Hopefully, my guest, genuine, authentic, has given you the information, insights you need to help your business or somebody you know that's in a business be a hero. Thank you. Tune in next week for What's Your Story. And the audience, thank you. Have a great one.